Hello, welcome to Quackalope. Thank you for being here. Today, I figured I'd run you through 10 games in my collection that, sadly, and to my own chagrin, I have not had the opportunity to play yet. You see, doing Quackalope means that I had a lot of games that I had intended to play, that I had purchased and have been part of my collection for a long time, that just haven't found their way to the table yet due to size, complexity, or just my own bandwidth. But it also means that there is a mixture of games in here that I really, honestly, should probably play. And I know there's going to be comments down below letting me know not only some of these titles, but some other titles that should sincerely be on my list of I need to play this, to kind of do what I'm doing, to pursue this career path. And again, I'm not slacking on this task. I think last year we played something like 200 and something unique titles, 300 and something individual plays. And so I play a lot of games, but with hundreds worth playing coming out every year and a back catalog of titles before I was ever in the hobby, there's a lot that is left for me to catch up on. So, this is a video about the 10 games in my collection that are on, genuinely, my shelf of shame, I suppose. That would be the terminology, right? Games that I think and I want and I fully intend on playing as soon as possible. Because I've either heard really good things about them, I'm personally excited about them, or, again, if I'm going to be doing this thing as a career, I should probably have some experience with them. Now, if you're watching this video, leave a comment down below letting me know how many of these 10 titles have you played, and give me one more game that should genuinely be on my list, one that you'd be kind of shocked if I didn't have some experience with it after a few years in this business. And with that being said, let's go ahead and swing into this. Let's have a very quick, very short, as short as a Quackalope does, conversation about these games. I'm going to start over here with Mice and Mystics. Now, this might not be the best game ever. I'm not entirely sure. I know it was groundbreaking in a few different regards, specifically due to both the theme and nature of it, and then also the way that it deals with cooperative storytelling. But I picked this up for two specific reasons. First off, because I loved Forgotten Waters, and this being a predecessor to that, I thought to myself, well, maybe if they're able to do storytelling so good in Forgotten Waters, maybe this will have some of that same charm. It also plays solo, which is highly, highly attractive to me, because I don't know how often I'll be able to have people sit down and go on an adventure with me, and even more specifically, it deals with adorable little mice. And I love growing up on Redwall, growing up any of those animal theme type of... If I ever write a book or design a game, probably at some point it'll deal with sort of living and societies built around animal folk. So, this is a game that is fairly recent to my collection, but is on my shelf of... I want some experience with this. I want to see where it started. I want to see what Plaid Hat Games has done, and I know there's some other titles that have better reviews or have been better received from the community that loved this, but this for me is sort of it's sort of the start, and so I am excited to check it out. The next one, let's swing over here to Terraforming Mars, one that I know this certainly should and deserves to be on my list of, oh my god, you haven't played Terraforming Mars yet? Yeah, I haven't, and I haven't for a few reasons. First off, when the last Kickstarter happened, not the big box one or the upgraded one, but the one before that, about a year and a half, 2 years ago, I backed it for everything because I just thought that this would be one that I should own, I should play. Everyone talks so highly about it. And so I never sought it out because I knew I had my own copy coming. But then by the time my own copy had arrived, I was already full swing into doing Quackalope. And it just hasn't hit the table. I've had a lot of people say they want to teach it to me. I've had a lot of people say this is one of their favorites. But it just has not been brought out. I'm okay with the Mars theme, but the thing that really makes this something that I feel like I need to play, but not necessarily one that I really want to play, is I really don't like the aesthetic, the art, everything that goes into the design of this game completely kills a degree of excitement for me. This is entirely on my list and in my collection because I feel like I feel like it deserves me to have some experience with it. And so hopefully sometime soon, one day someone will teach me this, and hopefully I'll enjoy it. That'll be the question. Let's swing over here to Dominion. Dominion's and this is going to be Dominion 2nd Edition. This is going to be a bit of an older game that, again, I probably should have some experience with. This is, as far as I'm aware, one of the go-to games when it comes to the deck-building genre, a genre which has overwhelmingly become one of my favorite styles of game. I love and am super attracted to deck-building card games, and Dominion has kept coming up over the last year. Whenever I mention deck building, there's usually a comment or usually someone mentions Dominion in reference to deck building. And so this is here. I went ahead and picked up a 2nd edition copy. I didn't get any of the expansions or anything like that. I just want to understand and experience this game so that I can compare it to the other games that I'm playing. I think it's the responsible thing to do as a reviewer. Apparently this is a massive game, though. I mean, with the amount of expansions, it's got 500 cards in it. Yeah, I'm excited to dig in. This is one. It's not high on my list. Like it's probably like it's down there on the ones that I'm interested in. So I'll pull it out at some point. But it's certainly one that I feel a responsibility to play. Let's swing over to one that I don't feel a responsibility for. I actually feel very sad that I have not had a chance to play this yet. I backed in the Hall of the Mountain King. It was actually one of the ways that Jan and I, my co-host, first met. He wrote an article for another reviewer site about this game, interviewing the designer, and his article is what convinced me to back this, because I wasn't sold just on the tile itself. And then the reviews have been incredible. I know Jan has a copy that is open at his house. I am super excited to get over there at some point and play this. So far, I love everything I've heard and seen about this game. It is just one of those that, due to the timeline, due to when it arrived, due to our production schedule, it just has not made it off the shelf yet. To my dismay, if I'm going to be honest. Because I love the idea of digging and burrowing and opening up tunnels and rifts and making your own kind of underground pathway as you're playing this. It just looks very cool. So, let's see. Let's continue swinging over here. This is going to be another one that I am sure I will have some comments down below being like, what? You haven't played... I have not played Spirit Island yet. I have watched multiple gameplays because I went up and had a interview with the designer. I know, in theory, how to play the game. I have friends who love and have offered to teach it to me multiple times. It's just none of those events have coalesced into me sitting down, opening up my copy, and actually playing. And it's a deep enough game, a heavy enough game that I usually, it's hard for me to get a bunch of solo games to the table. And so I've fully intended to. I certainly want to. I'm captivated and very interested in exactly what this game is doing. And I'm pretty aware of it. Like, I understand that, you know, you're the spirits of this island, and you're the powers that be, and you're trying to keep this invading population from settling and covering the landscape. You're protecting the native tribes that are there. But yeah, I haven't played it yet. So I need your help, apparently. Let's continue swinging over. Shang Magnet by Splotter. A game that I unboxed on this channel early on in Quackalope history. A game that I've had on my shelf for forever. I mean, I have opened this up. I have looked at it. I don't know how my box corner got damaged there. I'm a little disappointed about that. But I mean, I've opened this up, looked at it, read the cards, even tried to play it online one time, and it was just kind of confusing. This is one that it's just due to the length of game, and there's nothing on the back because this is a Splotter game. Just due to the length of this game and how in-depth and intricate it is, it hasn't made it to the table yet. But I am genuinely really hoping that I can talk like Sean and Max into a day-long of gaming where this is one of the games that we pull out and set down. So this is one that is, again, super high on my list, one that I'm super excited for. It just hasn't made it. Robinson Caruso. This is one that I have not played solely due to the fact that it is a heavy solo experience. I have watched other people's gameplays of this because I have been intrigued and interested and watched the puzzles being solved. I really, really love what is happening here. Just for my own time frame, my own time commitments, I just haven't had the time to pull it out yet and fully dive into it by myself. This is a 60 to 120 minute game, depending on what I guess what mystery you're solving, or what challenge you're facing off against. I'm really excited about this one. This is one that I will be playing very soon, and I'm really looking forward to it. This will probably be one of the next two that we're going to be getting to the table here as soon as possible. And like I said, I have watched gameplays. I understand the game in theory, just not in 100% application. This is another one. Again, heavy and hard to learn in a lot of different ways. This War of Mine, the board game. I love the video game. That grim, story-driven element. This is one that I bought before I was Quackalope at all. I mean, I've had this in my collection for 2.5 years or so. I mean, I opened it up and just did a little bit of organization, punched some things out, and then I started seeing reviews saying that this was brutal and hard to learn, and then I fell in love with Kingdom Death, and this hasn't made it to the table since falling in love with Kingdom Death. Again, this is one where I have watched people play. I really enjoy watching the experience unfold in this game. I just have not done it yet personally. I have not done it yet myself. I'm highly familiar with this one, though, and I really cannot wait to set it down and play it. Production timelines and what is on the clock, whenever I think of games that I want to play solo for the channel, this is probably in the top 3 of, I wish I knew that well enough to play it here. But learning it well enough to play it here is a task unto itself, and that often makes it really hard for me to get things down. Oh, let's pull over. We've got one more hiding here that you couldn't see. Let's pull over Cosmic Encounter. Cosmic Encounter is going to be one of those games that I ordered because Shut Up and Sit Down absolutely love it. And when I first fell in love with this hobby, I fell in love with basically everything that they talked about, even though my tastes at this point don't entirely line up. But this is one of those that I've heard so much good stuff about. I just haven't had a group large enough to really experience it with. And so I have some of the expansions. I have the core here. I want to play this chaotic mess. Again, I have watched gameplay of it. I am very familiar with how it plays and how everything breaks the rules of the game. It's just one that I haven't had a group large enough and interested enough in playing this. And then finally, the next game in our lineup is going to be Millennium Blades. This will be the last one in our lineup. This is a 2 to 5 player game that implements or is the experience of deck building or a collectible card game. Like you're actually building your deck drafting, or whatever it is, as if you were playing Magic or Pokemon, but it's all self-contained within this game. I tried playing this on TTS with Jan. It went okay. Interested enough that I ordered it. The reason I have a copy of this is because this is my co-host's favorite game of all time, nearly. I mean, this is sort of like his KDM in a lot of ways. Introduced him to the hobby, made him fall in love with it. He loves what's happening. This will never leave his collection. And so I picked up a copy so that I could experience it with him, so I could learn a little bit more about it, and also so that whenever we were ready to do some coverage on it, we didn't have to worry about him transporting his from DC back to Kentucky, anything like that. We wanted one on hand that we could get to the table whenever we needed. And so those are going to be the top 10 games in my collection that I'm ashamed to say I haven't played yet. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Please leave a comment down below. Let me know, out of those 10, how many have you played? Which ones are the best? Which ones do you think I will and won't like? And again, all of these are things that I intend to both play and bring to the channel sometime soon. It's why I have them. It's why they're on my mind constantly. I just It's just that whole bandwidth thing. It is not always easy to get everything you want to the table, especially when you're supposed to play like 6 to 8 new games a week. So, thank you for watching, thank you for being here, thank you for being a part of this community. Make sure to share this video, leave a comment down below letting me know what other games should be potentially on my shelf of shame. And finally, whatever you do, remember to do the important thing. Get out and play some games. We'll see you next time. Thank you.